Yes, hello, hi.
Hello, hi.
Welcome, one and all, to this full moon in Leo presentation with Black Queen of Pentacles. How are you, Emma?
I'm good. I'm excited for the kind of rebranding we're having. You know, the new frame on Instagram, the new logo. And yeah, it's exciting.
It's nice, and I'm excited for the tarot party. In fact, let me just tell people about that. So we've got an exciting announcement. The Black Queen of Pentacles Discord community is now open. You can join online. The link is in our link tree. So go there and you'll receive daily tarot readings, weekly Zooms on everything from what have we had so far? Sovereignty, tarot, relationship, menstruality. It's the International Online Witches Coven. So you're going to love that. And the next video call is our tarot party on the 26th of January. So it's going to be really fun. Amu and I are going to use multiple decks to discover more about what's going to happen in 2024. And we'll do live readings to see what this year will bring for you. So like if you've got an issue that you're facing or a problem that you're not sure how to approach, we'll actually like pick people from the audience to explore that through cartomancy, through tarot.
Make sure you join this coven. And I mean, if you don't want to go and search in the link tree, you can just type coven in big letters in the comments, and we're gonna send you the link quick and fast.
You can do it that way too. All right then, so let's move on to this full moon in Leo. Woo woo. So with full moon in Leo, I want to emphasize the need for humility. Yeah. Leos get this bad rap for being like the egocentric, like, oh, look at me, I'm so gorgeous, sort of like an airhead kind of sign. But that's not the case, and it's not that not all there is. Sorry, I've got a cold. That's not all there is to Leo, but they do have ego issues. They are the sign of the diva. It's the kind of attractive, attention-seeking actress who wants to be like the center of the drama. And that's fine. We love you for it. But with the full moon there, it can like tip over and go a bit over the top into like arrogance or self-aggrandizement. So watch out for this with this lunation.
Oh God, it sounds so intense the way you say it. Well, it is. Actually, it is. It is an intense full moon, but it's also a joyful, joyous, and exciting full moon. Because I think we're gonna mention it a bit further, but there's also Jupiter that squares at the same time, and this is gonna make us feel like larger, like we want to expand, like we actually see the bigger picture and want to be there already.
Yeah.
But most of the other planets are really like wonderfully aligned. So we can actually feel excited and like be ready for new opportunity and be ready to enjoy nice moment and enjoy yourself, because it's there, it's going to be there. And so yeah, this can be one of the most powerful moon cycle or significant, because it turned our attention to passion and heartfelt desire. So creativity, hobbies, activity, whatever you really love to do passionately, is like you're going to be attracted in those directions.
Nice. Yeah, I was just thinking about your Leo rising, right?
Yes.
How does that, yeah, have you looked into what that means with regards to having the full moon in your rising sign? Because that's the kind of full public facing image of you, isn't it? Your rising sign's kind of who the world sees you as. It's not necessarily who you are.
No, it is. I feel like yeah, as you said, it's more, the energy is more about the outer space. So it's more from the outside. And I feel like, I'm the kind of person who I love to help, and I'm always there for people. From the moment you're in my circle, you have like privilege, because yes, I care. So yeah, I feel like this is also going to reflect in people around me.
Nice. Yeah, you know, that is one aspect of, I'm just thinking about what you said about like it sounds really intense and like all we've got to do with this lunation is to think about not being a dick and not being too like, oh, look at me. But there is other things to it. So it's also a really good time for healing. And we'll mention that later when we talk about Chiron, this planet of healing and the wounded healer. And big lessons, you know, whenever the ego comes in and we're required to kind of temper the ego or acknowledge what's ego and what's not, and you know, what's the word? Like, I guess temper our responses to ego, not just let it go wild without even noticing. Then there's always healing and big lessons from that. And also the sort of pleasant side of Leo's exuberance, you know, it's great to be self-confident and self-assured. It's not a bad thing. It just needs to be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll ask him
But
about that. Like you can start to explore. Do you have a lack of ego or do you have too much ego? Like where are you spaced? Because that will impact how you navigate this moon. So let's see which houses are going to be impacted. Do you mind, Amu, if you do the first 6 and I do the last 6? Because we usually do it the other way around, and I just want to switch it up a bit.
so I do the first 6, right?
Yes, please. And then I'll do 7 to 12.
Wonderful. So first house, Leo. Speaking about Leo. So the first house is, as we mentioned, is the awareness of self. So it's your outward personality. It's how also people perceive you. So if you have Leo placement, rising, or sun sign, it's your first house that is impacted the most. For Cancer, sun or rising, it's your second house. So the second house is about money, possession, values, and skills, basically your personal resources. For my Gemini friends, your third house is going to be impacted, mental activity, learning, sibling, communication skills. Taurus, if you have sun sign or rising in Taurus, it's your home house that is impacted. So the fourth house, your home, your parents, your roots, your inner security. For Aries, sun or rising, it's your fifth house. Fifth house that is impacted the most, which is about personal creativity. So your fun, creativity, also romance and children. For the sixth house, we have Pisces next. So if you have Pisces placement, your sixth house is impacted. And this is about your daily life, work, health, service, and your self-improvement as well.
Amazing. And so if you're an Aquarius, sun or rising, it's going to be your 7th house. And this is all about partnerships of all kinds. So it could be your lovers, exes, spouse, business partnerships. What else? Cooperation and competition essentially is kind of the 7th house. So if you are Capricorn, sun or rising, it's the 8th house. And this is the taboo house. So it's about anything you consider taboo, inheritance, debt, sex, credit cards, joint finances, anywhere that you're sharing money or bank accounts with another person. And if you have Sagittarius, sun or rising, it's your 9th house. So this is study, travel, the great cosmic quest, religion, big dreams, higher learning, the internet. And if you're Scorpio, sun or rising, it's going to be your 10th house. And 10th house is all about your career and ambitions, how you make your mark on the world, and what you're known for. So, sorry, did I say if that was a Scorpio? Scorpio, sun or rising is the 10th house impacted. And then if you're Libra, sun or rising, it's your 11th house, which is the friends, network, social circles, what you're wishing for. And if you're a Virgo, sun or rising, it will be the 12th house, the deepest, darkest, most sensitive part of your sign, of your chart, sorry. So that's your fears, your spirituality, self-sabotage, withdrawal, things like that. So do you want to go first, Emma, with what houses you're being impacted in?
Sure. My first house, Leo, I'm a Leo rising. So the house of the ego, the house of the awareness of self. I feel in this case, I was saying earlier that I really give a lot of time and energy to my people, and I feel like now it's a time to think about me and me alone. It's funny because the circumstances around me, like everything around me, is aligning to put me in that kind of situation. So my cousin used to stay with me, and so I had another person close from me around. So I was, taking care of them as I do all the time. But now these person are not here anymore. And so basically the people I was giving the most energy around me are not there. So all this energy is going inward now. And we love it.
I was gonna say, yeah, is that like is it difficult for you or not? So it is something you naturally can do, but if there are others, you'd rather give the energy to them.
Yeah, I'm really aware of my peace of mind, and I always take time to take care of myself, but I love taking care of other people. And when I have people around me, it's not about what can I have from them, it's more what can I do for them, how can I help them becoming a better person. Because if I help them, like if I help them, it's not like I carry weight. You understand what I mean? Like we push each other further,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
100%.
some kind of partnership, teamwork kind of vibe that I have with the people around me. But when I'm alone, all this energy that is spread around the gang, if I could say, it's all for me. So I push myself further instead of us pushing us further.
Yeah.
Like when you're alone, you can go a little bit faster, but when you are multiple people, you can go way further. That's the difference. But
Yeah.
I like this. I like this. This. Anytime I'm really isolated, I see the growth. I see the big step. So I'm excited for this time.
Amazing. Yay, that's good. Yeah, and I think that's why we're such good friends as well, partly because often with relationships, with me in relationship with women, so like friendships, I sometimes feel like I'm giving more. And with you, it's always been like really equal. And even sometimes I'm like, oh no, Abby's giving to me. Like, because I think I struggle with that a little bit. Like, I think that's why I put myself in the position where I'm giving more. And in a sense, it's kind of an ego thing, so that I can then be
Yes.
like, well, I'm giving more. So like I'm the winner.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah. 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 I feel you on that.
So with you, it's been very different. And I think that's how we've managed to stay like so close for so long. Because yeah, it is way more equal. And I mean, in Jamaica, I was even probably taking more, I'd say, because you can really cook. And I don't like to cook. So you'd like make me go to the kitchen and we'd do it together. So it was like, oh, okay, this is fine because we're listening to music and we're talking and we're like bouncing ideas off each other. But when I'm like by myself and it's just like, oh, I've got to cook again, I need to eat again. It's just, oh, yeah. So that was your first house, and then you've also got what is it? Fourth house.
Fourth,
Mhm.
fourth house. Um, yeah, I've been working like a dog. And when I say, I mean, my job is not really as demanding as other people's job because I mean, I'm freelancing. So anytime I feel like doing something productive, I do. But I feel like I haven't spend time to enjoy myself outside of the work, even though I love the work that I do, but I'm not, going for adventures and things as much as I used to. I feel like finances have been stopping me, but at the same time, there's so many ways to enjoy life with no money. So, I mean, I don't have to go out of town and things. I can just go outside and do something, but I've been staying in the house.
Yeah, I was surprised because you said that you'd only just gone to Wake and Bake for the first time, and like you've been over there, what, like
In 3 months, and I used to go there every week. Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
that's going to come back actually, that idea of like taking time for you. There's another like part of the cosmic picture at the moment that is encouraging that. So hopefully you'll get that little push.
I love it.
Yeah, this it's all up there supporting us, you know. It's not out to get us. Sometimes it can feel challenging, but it's all for our greater growth in the end.
Mm.
So what have I got? I have, because I'm a Gemini sun and moon, but that's not neither here nor there. I have the third house of siblings, neighbors, communication, quick trips, and early education being illuminated by this full moon in Leo. So it's interesting because I have a sibling and he is a Leo, and we're not communicating at the moment. We've fallen out. And I don't have any Leo in my chart. Like it's one of those, Leo and Aquarius are the two empty signs for me. So I'm wondering if I won't feel this one so fully because I don't have a lot going on there. But with regards to quick trips and education, I think there's definitely a lot of that going on. Like for my new job, I'm traveling a lot, like 2.5 hours drives there and back. And at the start, it was like, oh, this is amazing. This is like a little adventure. I'm going like in my car and it's going to be a 2.5 hour and I can like listen to music and have a little flask. And now I've let myself get into that, like, oh, I have to drive 2.5 hours. Oh, I have to go to work. So I'm going to try to let this full moon bring back that excitement because I think it is an ego thing, you know. I have a bit of trouble with exactly what the ego is, but I think partly it's like not refusing to accept what is. So, you know, I'm feeling like, oh, I shouldn't have to drive to work. I should have a better job. I should be paid more. But it's like, yeah, but you're not. And these are this is the reality. So just be happy with that because this is what it is. And, you know, I should be grateful because I have a job. I'm getting some money. So yeah, I'm going to try to bring that sense of adventure back because it's beautiful where I go for work. You know, it's a place in the UK called, oh God, I've forgotten the name now. But it's a national park basically. So there are people there that have traveled from miles away to be on holiday and to walk around this area, and I get to go there for work. So there's absolutely no reason for me to be so like, but this, but that, I want more. So I'm going to bring that back. Stop being a brat.
Oh, yeah. One thing I always love about driving and do like, because I always used to work next to my house, or I mean, when I was driving, right? But then I worked like 45-minute drive and I was against traffic. So I was never in the, cloudy vibe of the traffic. Music so loud, the whole city can hear my song, and I'm singing and dancing and party. It's 6 in the morning, right? Woo!
I love driving, so there's absolutely nothing to complain about. And at the start,
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I'm getting in the car, I'm driving, like put the tunes on, and now I'm like, yeah, I've just become a brat. There's absolutely no excuse for it. So I have the ninth house being illuminated because I've got Sagittarius rising. And this is study, travel, the great cosmic quest, the internet, higher learning, religion, big dreams. So this house encourages us to try something outside of your everyday realm and routine. Yeah, so this is what I was relating back to your idea, Emu, is like maybe, yeah, sometimes we get stuck in these ruts and we're just like, this is what I do, and that's all there is. But there's so much more. So if we can use this full moon to like take a bit of necessary effort to look at what more you could bring into your daily life to enhance it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny because yesterday I posted a weekend reading on our social, and it was essentially saying that if you have the opportunity to do something that is out of your comfort zone or not, take it because it might be the time of your life.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Like, for instance, I've been being given admin work, so it's still on the railways, but I'm not actually out there grafting. And part of me was like, oh my gosh, like, am I going to be like really rubbish? And why have they chosen me? Is it because I'm not good on the rails? Like, but actually, it was so much better because I was in a warm cabin, and there was not very much to do, and everybody else was out there grafting, and I only took like a £1 an hour pay cut, so I didn't need to have all that like anxiety and like, oh, but why is it? What if this? Just enjoy it for what it is.
Joy, full joy.
Exactly. So we've got a Jupiter clash, like we mentioned. So this full moon is clashing with Jupiter, and Jupiter's the planet of exaggeration, amplification, expansion. So again, this isn't another reason why it's more likely that that egoic Leo sense could run away with itself. So just look out for that. If you notice that you're having some crazy ego outbreak, and that you've said something out of turn or behaved poorly, just go and apologize and make it right. Because remember, pride comes before a fall. So you might think, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter, I've gotten away with it. But usually there is some further repercussions, might be down the line, but at least it will come eventually.
Speaking about people coming back.
Yeah, I've had a lot of that. Had a lot of that lately.
Yeah,
People
me too.
from the past just being like, oh, hi, I'm still here. So yeah, it's hard to know though, isn't it, with that sort of thing? Like, am I being too ego and I should just be like, oh, okay, yeah, like live and let live, let sleeping dogs lie, water under the bridge? Or is it better to like be more protective and say, no, you did X in the past, so we're not brushing that under the carpet. It's a tricky one.
You don't carry the past. The past is gone. The past is finished. The past, whatever you. I agree that whatever you experienced or I did experience with that person in the past is the past and should be left behind. And the experience that would or could be there today would obviously be different because everyone grow. But the truth is, the way that person made you feel at one point, is it isn't it still there? You understand what I mean?
Yeah, and this is
Like it's okay, but you don't forget.
no, and this is
And
my approach.
it's like you're gonna live in a way that it's at the back of your mind and it could happen again. So your defense mechanism is going to be all up the whole time anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So I've just been taking the approach of like,
Yourself in those kind of situation.
yeah, I've been taking the approach of just civil, I'm not gonna, oh, right, how are you? What have you been up to? But I'm not gonna completely be ignorant.
Yeah.
Just in case they were coming to go, oh, actually, yeah, I've reflected and I know what I did was wrong. And I've like shunned them and not given them that opportunity. So I think that's a good happy medium.
And I'm curious to see how this person coming back in your life, like what is happening in your life right now that is relatable to that situation that you live with that. Because for me, it's one person that is not anymore in my life because of many reasons. But at the same time, I'm entering a situation where it's the same kind of, path. It's totally different. But you understand what I mean? So maybe it's like,
yeah, I even wondered if this person had entered again because they'd seen something on social media that I posted. Because yeah, there is a kind of situation happening that was similar to the one she and I fell out over. It kind of the same pattern comes up in cycles to check if you learned the lesson or not.
yeah,
Interesting. Because I feel like the lesson was anybody who is gonna try to silence me needs to not be in my life. So yeah, and I think that is still the lesson.
yeah. I love that for us. Oh my God.
I will not be silenced. I think people get that now, right? So we talked about it briefly, but the Mercury Chiron clash. What I would say about this is simply negative self-talk at this time is really, I mean, it's always poor practice and it will always have a detrimental impact on your mood and your health and your well-being and your capacity to get your goals achieved. But at this time, it's even more crucial that we just nip that as soon as it comes in.
Yeah, because you know Leo have this protagonist energy, so
Exactly.
it's about describing yourself and your truth. Be aware of whatever you speak up and your power of creation.
100%, yes. I mean, that's perfect. I don't think we need to say more on that.
And
And and also the Uranus retrograde ends on the 27th of January. So it's been 5 months retrograding, and now it's going to be going station again. So Uranus is this planet of humanitarianism, innovation, and technology, like on a huge scale. So think things like ChatGPT and the internet and like all of those huge technological advances that have impacted everyone. It represents change. This planet loves changing it up, and it's constantly switching things up and moving and dipping and diving for the good of us. So what does it mean when it starts to station again after retrograde? It means that when Uranus is retrograde, it's trying to change us humans. And when it goes station, it's just gently requesting that we change for ourselves. So if you've got if you know you've got an inflexible mindset around anything, that's kind of stopping you, use this direct Uranus to kind of overcome any of that.
wow, I love this. I love how it come with the ego part of Leo again. So like most of the time ego slow us down. So at one point we have to let go.
Yeah. And the 1st of February is Imbolc. So as witches, Amu and I observe certain traditions and rites, and one of the ones that I observe is the 8 Sabbats. And so Imbolc is on the 1st of February, and it's the midway point between winter solstice and spring equinox. So it's kind of the shoots of spring are beginning to stir. So I think it's classed as like the first day of spring, but it's more just the idea that spring is coming soon. You know, it's not necessarily you're going to get tulips on that day, but it's the celebration of that halfway point. And the word Imbolc means in the belly of the mother. So yeah, it's like this very sort of gestational moment of like, it's all growing. You may not be able to see or feel it, but it is in there, and it will come. Spring will come.
You know, I got excited because especially now that you said the word spring, I realized that so you're gonna be in Jamaica in April and you're gonna be there for a fucking full moon.
Hey.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Oh, mate, I'm so like if we do get to do 2 international trips this year, so Jamaica and Europe, mate,
Yeah.
that's big.
Yo, I love it. I wish we can record. Like it would be nice if we can record um live like one, you know what I mean? Instead of being on phone.
Yeah. Let's just stream it and do it there and then, like sitting next to one another, rather than all
Yeah.
this stuff. Yeah. Okay, last quarter moon in Scorpio. Do you want to speak about that, Emu? February 2nd?
Sure. So the last quarter moon is really about releasing. So whatever you haven't been able to release during the full moon period, or basically it's a chance to go back to whatever you need to release, to check if you did release, if you still need to work on some things, and if is also things that you feel like you should hold on to it after all, it's the right time to put it in place.
Yeah. So I'm at this point, I'm thinking that my last quarter moon in Scorpio thing will be about coming away from like this cerebral constant whirring of the mind, trying to like micromanage everything into happening, and drop into like a more sensual bodily knowing and being to still get what I'm desiring. But it may change, like, you know, you just kind of feel what the energies are doing on the day. But that's what I kind of think when I think of
I
last.
love Like instead of forcing things, not even, well, yeah, forcing things to happen to you or for you, but also the things that you force yourself to do because you want to reach a certain point. Like if you don't feel like right now it's the time to do it, like you can chill a little bit and maybe wait until tomorrow or
Yeah. You're always like when I'm just like, I'm tired, but I need to do this post. You're like, "Bitch, just go to bed and do it tomorrow then." And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like, why can't I do that for myself? I'm like my own slave driver. Crazy.
well, that drive push you to go far. I mean, you reach so far, so I guess it's good for you.
Yeah, maybe I need to find a little middle ground, but
Balance.
indeed. So we've got our little ritual coming up.
Since Leo is a ego sign, let's say it like that, just to be simple. Um, we decided, or we thought that it would be a good thing to burn our ego away. So this moon is going to give you a lot of confidence to get your stuff done, you know, but it's important to not feel like everything is already granted, basically. Or if you lack confidence, it's a time to think that everything is already granted. So depending of where you put yourself, you could write down things that you need to release in order to be able to have that confidence, or things that you need to release in order to cool down that overconfidence. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because it is very unique, isn't it? It's very specific to each individual. So I've taken the view that in certain areas, i.e., relationship, my ego is probably a bit, but I wouldn't even say that it's like too much or too little, but it's hindering me. We'll put it like that. So I am going to burn away these three things. So one is this, and this is a bit awkward to admit. So I have this thing where like I want men to fancy me, even if I don't fancy them. I'm sure a lot of women can relate. Like it's just the kind of ego rub of being desired. Even if you don't particularly, you've got no intention necessarily of like pursuing that. So why, it's kind of like, why do you need them to find you attractive or want to be with you? Because you don't want that back. And it expresses itself in my work because it's a very male dominated industry. So I'm around a lot of men. So then I'm catching myself being like, oh, I wonder if he fancies me. And it's so hypocritical because I then, if a guy at work flirts with me and I don't fancy him, I'm annoyed. But secretly in my head, I'm like, but I want him to fancy me and flirt with me. So it just makes no sense. So I'm getting rid of all that. And I think it's part of this whole big wider problem I think that we have at the moment, where men and women aren't necessarily getting on super well.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, we say we want certain things, like, oh, we want equality and not to be flirted with in the workplace. But I'm like, how true is that? Like, I actually quite like being flirted with in the workplace. It makes the time go faster. It's funny, it's bonding. So yeah, I'm gonna bun that. And then I'm gonna also get rid of comparing myself to others in the gym because I love going there. I'm really enjoying the benefits, like just in mood and energy and fun and leisure that I get. So why am I being like, oh, but look, she's fitter than me. Oh, but look, she's training harder than me. Oh, but look, he's lifting more weights than me. Like it doesn't matter. And I think that's an egoic thing of like, you either have to be the best or not do it at all. And it's like, no, because you're getting a lot of benefits. So you don't have to be the best. Just enjoy what you're doing. And then I'm going to also burn approaching relationships like a transaction. So I'm often, when I'm like meeting someone for the first time and considering them as a romantic option, I'm kind of like doing this tally of like, oh, well, he earns this much and I earn this much, and he lives here and I live here, and he's this old and I'm this old, and like he's this attractive and I'm that attractive, and like trying to, as if there's some like formula to it. And it's like, no, just go with your intuition, with your gut. Do you fancy him? Do you have fun? Is he respectful? Like it doesn't have to be so mercenary, I guess. So yeah, all
No,
that's
but at the same time, your list is what makes you feel comfortable. Your list is what you feel that is best for you. So it's okay in a sense. But at the same time, as you said, yeah, it's like the man doesn't have to tick all the boxes as long as you feel respected and comfortable in that relationship.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
about it
You
before,
see, me,
about the start, about the start of a
yeah,
relationship. It's too soon to start being like, oh, this, that, and the other, because I think you then like smother what they could have brought that you can't even imagine that they have. You wouldn't have put it on your list because you can't even think about it, but
right.
you love it in them, but you kind of smother it before it gets going because you're like, oh no, but he doesn't have this.
Mm-hmm. This is so true. On my side, me, I feel like part of things I want to release is ego, and part of things I want to release is um the opposite. Anyways, so I feel like um I know I'm the best and I truly think I'm the best, but sometimes I just refuse to let my light shine because I feel like it's gonna make people feel uncomfortable or it's gonna make people feel less.
Oh my God. You know the quote, don't you? The Marianne Williamson quote. And I think Nelson Mandela used it in one of his inaugural speeches. It's like, oh God, I'm going to absolutely mash it up. But it's something like, and look it up after, we're not afraid of like acting small. We're afraid of acting big and being like too amazing. And then everyone else feels bad. Like, yeah, I'm going to have to get it
That's
better.
insane because like I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to, make you understand what's happening because a lot of people around me is telling me how um nice of a person, how like impressive and how like them have all these qualities for me. And I'm like, but I'm not doing anything for this, first of all. And second of all, if I was doing anything, if I was doing something, it would be way more, you understand? So like the way these people are able to tell me how much my light shine and I'm like, I don't even let it shine. Do you imagine? So
Yeah.
I know that this is something I have to work on.
What do you know what I think could help? It just struck me. Like, um complimenting others in the same way, because that I think it's a typical human thing of like not wanting to take a compliment because we like makes us blush and feel all of the things that you are. But if you give it back as well, it's kind of like, oh well, I'll take it because I'm going to pay it out also.
Yeah,
And
but that's not it to me because I'm like what they say is true and I know that it's true and I take it. But the thing is, you not even see it. What I show you is not my full potential. You understand?
okay,
So
yeah, well then shine it, woman.
I like I I don't know because I grew up in a space where I learned that you have to sit and look pretty and don't take too much space because you don't want people to, but the truth is, why?
Yeah,
Why? So
yeah.
I'm just so used to put myself in a limited space that now that I have all the space in the world, it's hard for me to just woohoo.
Right. I found the quote. I just feel that it should be better iterated, so I'll say it out. So Marianne Williamson says, "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us."
Yeah,
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 amazing.
it
All right.
is.
Well, yeah, this is the full moon to work on that.
Yeah, people love me. People love me. People love me, and I most of the time I don't want these people to love me first of all. So that's the thing that I struggle with because I know that if I share my light even more, I would need even more boundaries, which are already difficult for me to implement.
I see. Yeah, yeah, that is scary. That can be.
Mm.
It's not an irrational fear in a sense. It's a fear to act on. But I think you can make adequate boundaries to be able to shine as much as you want. But I see why it could be scary.
I've never had to do so. I never had to do such things. So I guess it's time to step out of my comfort zone. Leo, Leo, Leo.
Okay, awesome.
We can go with the prayer now.
Nice.
I love it.
I think you should read it because I think you wrote this one, didn't you? I don't think I even had any input, so you should read it.
All right, so I do the first one and then you do the second one and then yeah. All
Okay.
right. So on this full moon in Leo, may the fire burn ego. Thanks to this celestial show for helping humility flow.
Nice. On this full moon in Leo, may the fire burn ego. Thanks to this celestial show for helping humility flow.
On this full moon in Leo, may the fire burn ego. Thanks to this celestial show for helping humility flow.
Nice. It's been a while since we did any fire ceremonies. I'm enjoying that. Fire burn.
God, I want one so bad.
So cute, aren't they?
Remember the summer when I asked my father, like, oh, apparently you have one. And I said, can I have it? And he said, no. I was like, oh.
Rude.
Yeah. But I mean, it's okay. The amount of things the man gave me, I cannot complain.
No,
I cannot complain. But yeah, that one thing I would appreciate really much.
We're entertaining time. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yay! All right. So the tarot card associated with Leo sign is the Strength card. Guess what? There's a lion on it.
No shit.
Obviously. All right. So if you look at the card on the screen, you see first of all a lion. So the lion is a symbol of raw passion and desire. You know how the lion, if the lion feel like resting, the lion is going to rest. If lion feel like hunting, lion will go hunt, right? So he really move with passion. And you see how the woman here is petting a lion, a wild beast. She doesn't even use force. She's just standing there and petting the lion. So with her calm and loving energy, she shows that animal instinct and raw passion can be expressed in a more positive way. So it's all about inner strength and resilience. So even if your ego wants to shine bright, sometimes it's not the time to let it shine bright. Sometimes it is though, but other times it's not. And you have to chill out, cool down, have a drink. I don't know.
Okay, I love.
But yeah,
Yeah, that's
see a
nice.
line of balance.
I like this card. It's the strength card. Is it?
Yeah. You see how there's flowers there. So flowers symbolize purity, but also blooming. And you see how there's like a mountain at the background, which is really, 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 really small. So no mountain is too big, but there's also a cloud on the top corner right, which is you see how the mountain, no mountain is too big, but you still need shadow work in life because growth, right? So again, it's there's balance between the ego and the more resilient part of you. And also you can see the infinity sign in the lady's hair, which symbolize it's the crown chakra, right? So it's like the unlimited possibilities of the power of your creation, your imagination, your everything.
Ooh, I love that. And it is, ego is, when I see the infinity symbol, it makes me think it's a constant tempering, You can't let your eye off it for a minute. It's got to be like moment by moment. Am I acting out of
Yeah,
ego?
but you look at it, the infinity sign is a loop. So there's ups, there's downs, there's going back, there's going further. So it's a cycle.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you. That's great.
Should we put a card?
Yes, please. My light is fading, so I hope I'm still visible here. But yeah, let's do a card.
Sure.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Advice. What can we advise? I guess the card came out. Oh, Ten of Swords, Ten of Swords. So this card look painful because this person have 10 sword in their back. But I love this card. The 10 symbolize ending, and ending symbolize new beginnings, right? So I feel like this is a time to I feel like this is a time to stop procrastinating. You know, sword is mental energy, it's communication skill. So there are some things where you need to take action, and it's time to take action. And you see how the person is looking towards the sun or the light. So basically, this moment was yesterday, and today we're looking here.
Mhm.
So we are finished with whatever is in our way, and we are looking forward.
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
looking
Ten of
forward.
Swords, I always see it like you've gone through the worst already. So now just like eyes on the prize.
Yes. Yes.
Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming and join the coven. Like, share, and subscribe. Join us for the next lunation on February 9th, which is a super new moon in Aquarius, no less. So yeah, watch out for that video dropping soon. All right, we love you. Join us in the coven.
Bye.
Bye.